And let me get logged into the chat. This is the Planetary update. I have compiled all of the retrogrades that will be occurring. In 2023, some of them moving all the way into 2024. And so let's go ahead and get into those. So, hey China, hey. Thank you. I needed somebody up in here. I'm doing the retrograde. This is the retrogrades for 2023. I put my mascara on my eyes. I'm tired. That's what it is. I look sleepy too. I'm also having a flare up. So all this is like inflamed. Y'all can't see it because I got my face and my makeup on. But all this is inflamed and just red up in here. I'm going through something. There's been tears and I'm going through something, but I'll be all right. I look like it too. Damn. Okay, so for the most part, I was hoping I wouldn't look like it. For the most part, I've compiled all the retrogrades. We got another tough retrograde season coming up in the fall for this year again, just like we had in 2022, where we got a bunch of cluster. We have a cluster of planets in retrograde. We got that going on again this year. Aubrey, turn it down some. You were quiet till I started working. Turn it down. Thank you, China. Thank you. I guess it's just me. Thank you. So, let's go ahead and get started. Let's start with the big daddy of them all that everybody is always Mercury. When Mercury's in retrograde, I might not want to fuck or shave. I might be a tease and misbehave and kiss you when I feel afraid. Okay, so Bangkok Live TV. Good morning. Okay, so basically it's evening here, so good evening. We've already had we came out on January 27th. We came out of the retrograde that spanned winter of last year. So that was one that was out of the way. And then we had Mars retrograde end in January as well, which is awesome. So we pretty much are having a non-eventful February and March. Non-eventful February and March. So the trouble begins once again when we move into April. For April 7th, and I downloaded a calendar, a paper calendar. So I've written everything in, and I'll be sticking it back here. You'll see it throughout the year or I will turn around and consult the yes, your painting. This is going to go up there next to your painting. We will turn around and consult the retrograde schedule as needed throughout the rest of the foreseeable year. So this is all of the planetary retrogrades that are coming up for this year. So we're pretty clear. We're in the clear for February and March. So we get a breather, we get a break, which is good because usually by March or late February, we have another retrograde kicking in. Well, because we had one span move carry us from 2022 into 2023 and end in January, we're good for a minute. So, like I said, things are uneventful for February and March. Then the big trouble starts in April. On April 7th, we enter into Mercury retrograde pre-shadow period on the 7th, on April 7th. It goes full retrograde by the 21st. It ends officially it actually comes back to full speed on Sunday, May 14th. And then the post-shadow period ends. The effects of it is the post-shadow period that ends on June 1st. So it's a pretty long one. It's going to take us through it's going to take us through 2 whole months pretty much for the most part, minus 6 days. So it's going to take us from the 7th of April with the energies of this Mercury retrograde all the way until June 1st. So, that being said, you know how retrograde works. At least I hope you do. If you follow me on Facebook, I usually post a disclaimer and a warning saying, hey, the fuckery shall begin. And basically anything that can go wonky will. um electronics electronics, your car may go crazy. Please don't try to move, relocate, sign any new contracts, negotiate any new deals. Anything from the past can and will come back to bite you on the butate. The point of the retrograde is so that it digs up and brings up old energies so that you are forced to work through them and work on them, so that maybe you don't have to continuously deal with them retrograde after retrograde. So if issues arise, try not to ignore it or run from it. Try to just, it's because you need to work on it and you need to deal with it. So go ahead and work on it and deal with it. I call it the great resurgence of the exes. Your ex-boyfriend, girlfriend, dog. Sorry. The exes will come out of the woodworks. You'll be like, why? I'll never forget, I was working at Minute Maid Park one year, and one of the security guard girls had come to let me in a storage area that I needed to get into our dry storage that I needed to get into. And she's like, aren't you the astrologer lady? And I was like, yeah. She was like, is there something going on currently that would cause all my exes to come out that woodworks? And I was like, yes, Mercury is in retrograde. And so that would be why all of your exes. She was like, they're just calling like crazy. When is this gonna stop? I was like, girl. And I explained it to her and I told her when. So people notice and everybody's like, oh, it's just bullshit. No, we wish. So basically, like I said, your exes will come back. Sometimes you have former friends, even not even the romantic connections or relationships, that reach out and come back. Issues with family, issues at work, things that you thought you had put to rest and buried. If there's any inkling or any energies that still exist that you need to deal with or work out or work on from your past, those things will come to a head for Mercury retrograde. So just go on and pop the pimple and deal with the runoff. Okay, and let it heal. Like I said, it don't make it. I would not make any major plans. I would not plan any, which sucks because, well, no, it ends May. No, it ends May 14th. That sucks for those of you for those of you that have a wedding date that had that saved, the date saved for the first 2 weeks in May. I would not want to be the bridezilla on that, under this Mercury retrograde. Make sure that your caterer has ordered your shrimp and fish in time. That's all I can tell you. It's gonna be rough. Try not to plan anything major. I know I'm checking. I'm pulling out the almanac. I'm Googling it when it's time to set my date. I will be aware. It will not be during a retrograde. Do not start anything new or major. It is said that if you even begin a relationship during that particular time, during a retrograde, it is destined to fail. So let's try to don't make any, or end the relationship. Don't get hot-headed and end the relationship either. So just be very careful during Mercury retrogrades. And that's going to be difficult because also during this particular retrograde, we have on May 1st, we have Pluto going into retrograde. We also have Pluto going into retrograde. Dead smack kind of sort of more so. No, it's in the middle. Dead smack in the middle of the spring, because that's the spring, Mercury retrograde. We have Pluto going into retrograde on Monday, May 1st. So Pluto, even though they can't figure out if they want it to be a planet or a dwarf planet or whatever it is, we still feel its energy, and so we are still claiming it, okay? So Pluto, like I said, starts retrograde during Mercury retrograde on May 1st, which is a Monday. Pluto is that planet of, hold on, let me go to it. I have notes. Y'all know I be thorough. All right, so personal transformation and hidden things being revealed. So that could complicate things as it factors into the Mercury retrograde that we're already experiencing. Because as you deal with past issues and issues that need to be worked on and worked through, you could have some things come to light that you didn't know was in the dark. You know that saying? Everything was done in the dark. It comes to the light. I don't know all that song because I'm not Christian, but it was on like a Tyler Perry commercial or some shit. Anyway, but so what's done in the dark, hey Bella, tends to come through the light. Mercury and that and coupled with Pluto, it's gonna bring a lot of things to the light for you and help to clear out a lot of energies. This is personal transformation also as well. So things that you need to work on, you may get a bunch of exes come out the woodwork and tell you some things about yourself that you didn't realize. And why are all these exes coming out the woodwork to tell me I have poor communication skills, or to tell me that I don't understand or I don't listen to people well, or to tell me that I'm kind of cold-hearted and I need to be more empathetic or sympathy, or I need to be more honest, or I need to speak up, or you might have an upsurgence of people telling you what's going on, what's wrong with you, and what you might need to work and where you might need to put in that shadow work in order to fix things so you don't have the same issues with people moving forward. So this could manifest in a lot of different ways. And like I said, it's personal transformation and hidden things being revealed. And so this could lead to or cause quite a few tower moments. Be prepared. Okay. Shit you didn't see coming. Stuff blindsiding you and just smacking you upside to just turn around. You know how you ever been walking? You ever had somebody walk? My kids have done this often. They walk up right behind you, right behind you, or walk close behind you, and then the minute you turn around, you run into their ass, smack. That type of thing where you just turn around and be like, oh shit, what's that? That type of thing. Okay. So be very careful and cautious. So that's how that energy could play out for you. Now, Pluto stays in retrograde from May 1st all the way till October 11th. So we'll be dealing with that one. That's one of the planets that is on the list of being in retrograde in that cluster of other planets that's coming up. After I go through each individual retrograde, then we'll talk about who's clustered up together, or you'll pick up on it as I go as well. The next Mercury retrograde that will be affecting us will be the fall retrograde. The fall retrograde is going to run the pre-shadow period is going to be on August 4th. So we'll start feeling the effects on August 4th, and it actually goes full retrograde on August 23rd. It stops full retrograde on September 15th, but we will be feeling the effects all the way through September 30th. Okay, so this is the big one. This is the one that may be extremely, extremely complicated. And I'll probably get to most of the planets that are in the cluster during this period. Actually, I will, not probably, I will. So, the first one that pops up is it starts before. So because we have Mercury going into retrograde on August 4th, on July. Now remember, keep in mind that we already have wait, let me back it up. I gotta back it up one more month. I'm sorry, let me back it up one more month. So right after the summer retrograde ends, we have Saturn. We have Saturn going into retrograde on June 17th. Juneteenth. We have that weekend. We have on Saturday. So that's Juneteenth weekend. We have Saturn going into retrograde. Saturn is the planet of karmic return. So whatever energy you've been putting out into the universe, you will be rewarded or whooped up for it. Take it how it resonates. So if you've been putting out that good, wonderful, loving, nurturing, positive energy and intentions into the universe, that's what you shall begin to receive and sow seeds of. If you've been putting out negative and disgusting, nasty, horrible energy, that's what you're going to come back and smack up on you behind. It's going to come for you. So that Saturn retrograde runs June 17th all the way through November 4th. Okay. Then we have Neptune beginning retrograde on June 30th. Neptune is the planet of fantasies, dreams, and escapism. So try to stay focused. Try to stay grounded. Your head may be in the clouds. You may be a little bit confused and a little bit wishy-washy. And it may actually inspire you to embrace your creative side and start running down a dream. Headed for a mystery. I listen to all kinds of music. That's Tom Petty, y'all. Okay. So it might encourage you to actually start chasing or running down your dreams. You may find yourself drifting off. You may find yourself doing a lot of daydreaming. Your lucid dreaming as and while you sleep will become more vivid and more meaningful. So pay attention to your dreams. Keep a dream journal during this time. Neptune will be in retrograde from June 30th all the way to December 6th. So that's fantasies, your dreams, escapism. Stay focused, stay grounded. And you may receive messages, ideas, sparks, or what's the word I'm looking for? Inspiration. During this time, you may feel inspired, like I said, and I was singing Tom Petty to start running down a dream. There you go. Okay. So now, then let's move into July. That's June. We're gonna move on into July. In July, we have Venus in retrograde. That's going to begin on July 22nd, and it's going to run through September 3rd. Don't argue. I mean, just use your imagination, ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens. It's Venus in retrograde. There's going to be arguments. You're going to be rethinking and evaluating your relationships. If you're not happy in your relationship, be careful. If you are happy in your relationship, be careful. Don't let things come into it. If it's a happy, healthy relationship, that would take it down and take it under. Watch yourselves. Be very careful. If your relationship is not meant to be, it will fall apart during this time. If it is meant to be, you should, and hopefully you shall make it out the other side. Okay. I got some new cough drops, y'all. I was so tired of the regular old lemon and whatever that was. I got some cherry and new cough drops. I need a new flavor. I've been eating the same cough drops for like 3-4 years. I've been a long time. A long time. Oh, that's good. Okay, so like I said, so your Venus in retrograde is going to run from July 22nd through September 3rd. So watch your relationships. And be careful, especially be careful if you're getting into a new relationship. Watch out for love bombing and people coming with false intentions. Be very careful with love during this time period. If you have a relationship, protect it, guard it, keep it tight, keep it right, keep it tight. Okay? So now that carries us right into our fall Mercury retrograde. So now at this point, you need to keep in mind that we already have Pluto, Saturn, and Neptune in retrograde at this time. Okay? So let me write that down. So right now we have Pluto as we move through this midsummer months, June, July, and into August. We have Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, and Venus that are all. China says, is it smart to do protection spells over your relationships at that time, or won't it help? Yes, it will. Yes, it will. It is a time, and it is recommended. I do recommend. That's why I said protect it if you have one and if you're in one, and if you're getting into one, just be extra careful and extra cautious. Okay. So yes, it will help to do protection spells over your relationship and at that time and at this time. Actually, at any time it should be done. Your love and your relationship should always be respected and protected. I didn't protect mine enough and it was precious and I lost it. So, by all means, do that. I haven't done that this time either, but I don't know if I want to. Let me shut up. I don't know about your boy China. I'm trying though. He trying. I'll tell you later. Okay, so at this point, we're moving into our fall Mercury retrograde with Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, and Venus in full retrograde. So luckily, so hold on. So your pre-shadow period for the fall retrograde starts on August 4th. It goes full on the 23rd. Right after the 23rd, we have another planet that kicks in. We have Uranus on August 23rd. So now we have Uranus on August 23rd that kicks into retrograde, and it does not leave retrograde. Uranus doesn't come out of retrograde all the way until January 27, 2024. That's going to run us all the way through the end of the year. That's a very long retrograde. Uranus is a planet of unpredictable change, and this is taking place in conjunction with a retrograde in Venus, which is going to cause you challenges in love, a retrograde in Pluto, which is going to bring things out into the light that have been done in the dark unexpectedly. Karmic return with Saturn, and then with Neptune. Did I talk about the effects of Neptune? I did. And hopes and wishes and dreams, which sucks because think about it. If somebody's been fantasizing about cheating or someone else, or if things are better on it, because people do that. People get bored in their relationship and start fantasizing about shit being better on the other side of the fence. And half the time it's astroturf over there. Don't even be real damn grass. Okay. All right. Jump the fence and land in some fertilizer. Roses smell like boo boo. Ooh. Okay. So now we are full on into retrograde, dead smack right after the actual full start. And we have Uranus swinging into retrograde as well. So like I said, that starts on August 28th. And that takes us through January 27th. And that is change, an unpredictable change and transformation, and last minute changes, unpredictable change, tower moments. Okay. Tower moments. That's what that is. That is tower moments. That shit's sneaking up and snapping you on the shoulder, as opposed to what I talked about with Pluto's and Jupiter's. No, that was Pluto's energy where I said, "Oh, you just turn around and run into somebody." No, this is somebody full up running up to you and just tapping you on the shoulder and going smack. Okay. All right. So that's Uranus. And that's added too. So at this point, during the fall retrograde, we have Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Venus, and Uranus all in retrograde at the same time. We have a retrograde cluster going on. So, luckily, as we move into the beginning of September, Venus leaves the picture. It leaves the cluster. Venus comes out of retrograde on Sunday, September 3rd. However, right behind that, we have Jupiter beginning retrograde on Monday, September 4th. So with Jupiter, where are you, Jupiter? Jupiter talks about it deals with cleaning up your life, removing blockages and bringing in stability. So it's like evaluating your life, seeing what things no longer serve your greatest and highest of good, eliminating those things and clearing the way for positive change to come in. It's cleaning up your life, getting your shit together, getting it all together, putting it in a backpack and organizing it, putting it in file cabinets. It's filing your life. It's that house cleaning. It's the decluttering. It's the elimination of stagnancy. It's the elimination of things that don't serve you and are no longer of your greatest and highest of good. Okay, that's Jupiter. And Jupiter stays in retrograde from September 4th to December 3rd. So now we have Jupiter joining the cluster still during Mercury retrograde. Luckily, Mercury retrograde ends on the 15th. However, the post-shadow energies, we feel the energies and the effects all the way up to September 30th. So then we move out of retrograde, and right after we move out of retrograde, we have Pluto ending and leaving the cluster on October 11th. But basically for Jupiter, 1, 2, 3, 4, for about 4 weeks, we have 1, 2, 3. Actually, it doesn't matter because it's still throughout the entire fall Mercury retrograde. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 planets in retrograde. Because like I said, the day after we have Venus, the day before we have, well, first I should say, let me say it this way. First, we have Venus coming out of retrograde on September 3rd, but then the very next day we have Jupiter going into retrograde to replace that, to replace Venus coming out. So we still have the same number of planets current in retrograde, in a retrograde cluster at the same time. So as Venus leaves retrograde and comes back to its full speed, we have Jupiter go into retrograde and begin to slow down in its orbit. And so that leaves us with Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, and Jupiter all still in retrograde. However, so like I said, Pluto ends. It's Mercury ends its retrograde on the 15th. We finished that energy up on September 30th, and then up until, and then we have up until Wednesday, October 11th, we have Pluto leaving retrograde. So that takes one planet out of the equation. Then at that point we still have Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, and Jupiter all in retrograde at the same time. So then we have in November, the beginning of the first week in November, we have Saturn leaving the group, leaving the cluster, because its retrograde ends on November 3rd. All right. We have 2 weeks of peace and quiet. And then the same week as Thanksgiving, 2 days after Thanksgiving, on November 25th, we move into the winter Mercury retrograde. And that's the pre-shadow period, beginning 2 days after Thanksgiving on November 25th. As we move into December, the first week in December, on December 3rd, we have Jupiter leaving the cluster. Its retrograde ends on December 6th. We have Neptune leaving the cluster. Its retrograde ends. And then we have Mercury going full retrograde on December 13th. And that takes us all the way until January 1st, when it officially ends retrograde, and the 15th when we come out of the post shadow energy. Pull your pants up. We come out of your post shadow energy. Okay? So I know that was a lot. So let me basically break it down to you and make it a little simpler. So you can get at least the gist of it. For most of the fall and winter months, we have a retrograde cluster going on, consisting of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 planets at a time. All right. And then it slowly starts to break down, and some of them fall out of retrograde as we move through October, mostly November and December. Jupiter, Neptune, and Saturn stay in a cluster longer this year than any of the other planets in retro as they retrograde. Your Mercury retrogrades are going to run energy wise from April 17th until June 1st, and then from August 4th until September 30th, and then your winter retrograde from November 25th through January 15th, 2024. We have Venus in retrograde from July 22nd to September 3rd. Look for discord in love. And then, like I said, we have those clusters going on through those periods, beginning with first Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Venus, and Uranus. And then as Venus falls off, we pick up Jupiter. So it's Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, and Jupiter. And like I said, those planets fall off one by one as we move from October through December. I know that's a lot. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have any questions? So what happens when we're in the planet cluster is it's kind of like a pushing and pulling of energies, because we have planets that rule different things all in retrograde. So it's going to affect each and every one of us differently. And if everybody seems wonky, that's because it is. We are, and it's a fact. It's going to pull based on what I recommend, what I highly recommend that you do is, let me pull it up. It should be, I should have it. Hold on. No, that's not what I meant to do. I made a cheat sheet for my tarot class students. And here it is. So basically what I recommend is, she said that was the last emoji I sent to my Taurus. Lord. What I recommend is consulting, looking at your natal chart, If you have not or do not know how to do your natal chart, please email me or contact me on Messenger, or reach out, catch one of my live chats, and I'll try to help you out. I do charge to do it, but I'm not shitty like that. I'll also tell you how you can do it for free yourself. And if you need to interpret it, though, I will have to charge you if you need help figuring it out. That's called a consultation. Okay, so that's a natal chart consultation. So basically what I recommend doing is pulling your natal chart, get your natal chart done. Even if you don't know the time of birth, consult somebody and get it done, because you can find out enough to determine how this may affect you. Okay. All right. Because really what you're really going to be focusing on is like your sun sign, your Mercury, your Mars, your Venus, and just where you may have certain placements in all of these signs, that these planets that are in retrograde, your Pluto, your Saturn, your Neptune, your Venus, your Uranus, your Jupiter, your Mercury, how what you have in those houses and how it's going to affect you, as far as what rules you and where and how and why. Okay, so a quick rundown. Actually, I may post this. Should I post it? I may actually just post. I will. I will post this in the community tab so that you all can have a look at it. But just a quick read through of it. You'll see it. This is what it looks like. And basically, this is a cheat sheet I created for my tarot class, so we could keep track of who is represented by what. The signs, Aries and Aquarius, is ruled by Mars and Uranus. That's it's actually, and it's attached to each card, because so that's the Fool card. the Magician card, and the signs that it represents are Gemini and Virgo, and they're ruled by Mercury. Okay, so back to the Fool card. Aries is ruled by Mars, and Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. Okay, so Gemini and Virgo are both represented by Mercury. So my Geminis and my Virgos, I need y'all to hang tight. I know y'all be getting y'all asses kicked during all this retrograde energy. Sit tight. Stay grounded. Stay grounded. The High Priestess is the card. It's Pisces, and Pisces is represented by the moon. So Pisces is pretty tight. Y'all pretty good because there's no moon retrograde or anything like that. So Taurus is represented by Venus. Aries is represented by Mars. Why do I have to? Oh, because of the Hierophant. Gemini, Mercury. Cancer is represented by the moon. So you're good. Leo is the sun, so you're good. Once again, Virgo is Mercury. Libra is represented by Venus. So Libra, you will be feeling it. And now I'm not sure how it will affect you, but you should be feeling some effects from that Venus retrograde. You may not feel yourself. You may be off your game. Pluto is, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. So Scorpio, during that Pluto retrograde, watch your energy. Sagittarius, during your Jupiter retrograde, watch your energy. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. You'll be watching, check your energy. And that's it. That's it. That's it. So I think that was, so like I said, if I didn't mention you, like Leo, for instance, that's because you're ruled by the sun, and that's not affecting any of these retrograde energies. So, my Geminis and my Virgo, you're going to be on alert through all your Mercury retrograde energies. Excuse me. My Taurians, you're going to be on alert during your Venus retrograde, which runs from July 22nd through September 3rd. The Pluto retrograde for my Scorpios, you're going to be watching that. That's running from May 1st through October 11th. My Sagittarians, with your Jupiter retrograde, you're going to be paying close attention to your energies between September 4th and December 3rd. That's a stretch. And that's cleaning your life, removing blockages, and bringing in stability. That's self-work, that's shadow work, that's getting your shit in order. So be looking to have a lot of that energy focused on you. Capricorn is Saturn. Your Saturn, Capricorn, your Saturn retrograde is from June 17th through November 4th. That's karma. That's karma. Keep it clean, keep it right, keep it tight. It's also your spiritual and religious beliefs. You'll be focusing on them as well, because when karma gets to either blessing you or whooping your ass, what do? That's right, we pray. Pray! We pray. I'm sorry, I had to break out with Kurt Franklin on that one. You pray, you manifest, you meditate, you do whatever you need to do. Chant, however you need to handle that, handle it, okay? All right. Aquarius with Uranus, that's August 28th through January 27th. That's change, unpredictable change. Unpredictable and sudden change. Watch your ass, Saggies. Aquarians, watch it. Okay? All right. I think that covered everybody that needed special mention. So I am going to go ahead and post this now, so that you all can be aware of what planet rules you, whether the retrogrades affect you this year or not. It's still, and it tells you what tarot card represents you as well. So it's a good thing to have. Oh Lord, how far down is it? I gotta find it. Lord, I gotta scroll through my whole picture log because they're not offering me an out. YouTube gotta do better than this. I need to be able to go to the albums. Let me not miss it though. Hang on. So it's a good cheat sheet to have. That's a beautiful dress. There it is. Card sign planet. There we go. Okay, so that's posted. So that is posted. You all enjoy that. Use that as needed for whatever needs you may need it for. Does anybody, before I log off, we have 5 people watching. Does anybody have any questions? Did I not cover anything? Did you feel that I was unclear? Do you need me to clarify anything? Anybody? Anybody? I've covered everybody. All right, what time is it? Well, it's 10:05. For those of you who are watching live, Ask MissNJoy is up next. I will still be reminding you as we move through the year. I will be warning you. I will be reminding you this, which is the sheet that I wrote all the dates in on. Is going right here where I can simply swing it right around and just check it out. As needed. There we go. All right. I love you guys. Ask MissNJoy is up next. So my regular faithful people, I'll see y'all there. And we'll discuss our day and anything else you want to talk about. I love you. Bye. Oh, and if you have any questions, if you feel free to email me or inbox me on Messenger. Love you. Bye.